am Melissa Sogavo, and I am an art therapist at Your Story Counseling. I work with a whole range of clients from kids to adults, couples, and families. I have the privilege of leading workshops for widows. We call it Resilient Widowhood. I became widowed 7 years ago with 4 young children, and my experience was extremely difficult, to say the least. And so in my healing and growth, I have created an experience for other widows to come and process their grief and be seen and heard by other widows who understand that kind of grief. We use art and various therapy tools to develop greater resilience in the process of losing a spouse and a partner. Our workshops are several hours long, providing plenty of time for participants to share their stories, get to know one another, develop a level of community and connectedness, to develop support. During that time, we also usually share a meal together, some lunch and snacks. We also spend some time talking about how art is a tool that we can use to process our grief, and then also as a coping tool, particularly with things like trauma or traumatic deaths, or any PTSD that some widows may have. The workshop is an excellent way to address learning some of those coping tools that you may not have. So the workshop really provides community connection with other widows. We talk about coping tools and skills that you may not be aware of as a widow when you lose your spouse. We also talk about various resources, financial, emotional, intellectual, and then we always focus our time on one specific art project with the intent to literally process the event of the death of the spouse. It's a really difficult thing to talk about, especially just with anyone, even with close loved ones, family and friends who haven't experienced that kind of loss. It's not always something that you can verbalize. So in the context of safety and containment and confidentiality, the participants of the workshop have an opportunity to use all kinds of art materials. We do painting, string art, fabric art. We kind of switch it up each time for the workshop. And I usually give some kind of prompt, and then we spend a good few hours just working on that art piece. You don't have to be an artist to attend this workshop. It's really not about creating a masterpiece, but rather allowing your thoughts, your feelings, your experience, your lived experience to sort of come out creatively onto the canvas or the whatever medium we're working with. And what usually ends up happening is every participant has something new that they discover in that art making process, and then we're able to debrief and talk about it together. And what I've seen is just that all of the participants have said, there's not one participant that has gone through the workshop that has said anything other than, this was really helpful. This helped me see things about my experience that I hadn't noticed before. This helped me move closer towards acceptance of the death. It's usually a really very meaningful experience. Difficult, but meaningful. If you're interested in participating in the Resilient Widowhood Workshop, we have information on our website at yourstoryinc.com, and you can find all of the information there under the Groups tab. You can also reach out to me, Melissa at yourstoryinc.com is my email, and I'd love to email you back and give you more details or answer any questions you might have.